The Fate of the Furious was directed by F. Gary Gray and was the last main title of the Fast and Furious franchise up until F9 The Fast Saga. When Dom goes rogue and turns on his team, it's up to them to stop him from helping a terrorist begin the next global war. I am finally finished my Fast and Furious reviews. The first one I did was all the way back in March 2020 for the Fast and the Furious, and now I am ending them with The Fate of the Furious. I am so ecstatic to be done these things finally. I must say though, I enjoyed reviewing all the Fast and Furious movies. It was fun to watch them all again. And The Fate of the Furious, being the last movie of the franchise to come out in theaters that's not Hobbs and Shaw, came out around the time when I first started doing YouTube, only about 11 or so months after I began, and I did not see this movie in theaters because that was back at the point where I had only seen the first and second movies. I heard a lot of mixed things about this movie when it came out, but generally speaking, it received positive feedback, and there is a good reason for that. First and foremost, it pitted one of its main characters against the rest of the crew, and it didn't change much else, because why would you when the last couple of movies made so much money doing the exact same thing? This is the first main title without Paul Walker, which is upsetting, but the rest of the cast makes up for it. You have everyone from the other movies, including both Vin Diesel and The Rock, who I'm pretty sure had a lot of beef during the filming of this movie, plus Kurt Russell returned to his role that he had in Furious 7, and Scott Eastwood in this movie made his Fast and Furious debut. Unfortunately, it looks like the last main title movie for The Rock in this franchise was The Fate of the Furious because of that Vin Diesel beef, so that's really disappointing, but at least he's in this movie with Jason Statham as well as the rest of the crew. Everyone who returns here is once again really entertaining on the screen, and just like the previous movies before it, The Fate of the Furious was another exciting Fast and Furious action movie. Just like in Furious 7, this was yet again another adventurous movie with a plethora of exciting, explosive action sequences, and in general, this is just an all-around easy watch. But when discussing the movie's formula, it is very similar to the previous movies in the franchise, with both its approach as well as execution, though the reason why I like this movie is because it switches things up. This is not the same exact movie as the 6th or 7th. We get a new inventive plot, one that changes the whole game. I love how Dominic Toretto, the man that is the face of the Fast and Furious franchise, is the villain of The Fate of the Furious. That was a really smart decision on their part. And without spoiling for those who have not seen the movie yet, there is a reason why Dom is doing this. And when they reveal the reason behind Dom's term for the first time in this franchise, I actually felt an emotional attachment to Dominic Toretto. I did not feel that same attachment in the first 7 movies, but in The Fate of the Furious, that was a major difference for me compared to the other movies in this franchise. I also want to mention that Jason Statham returning as Deckard Shaw is once again awesome. He has some of the best lines, a couple of the movie's best scenes. You cannot go wrong with Jason Statham in a movie like this. He is just as good in this movie as he was in Furious 7, so that in itself, in my opinion, was worth mentioning in this review. You know what I realized though while filming this review? I realized that, surprisingly, The Fate of the Furious, in my opinion, has far less problems over that of Fast and Furious 6 and Furious 7. I'm sure many of you will disagree with that, but from a rewatch perspective, I didn't find nearly as many problems the second time around. But one issue that did stand out to me with The Fate of the Furious is that you'll eventually begin to notice that all of the movies from 6 through 8 all somewhat feel like the same exact movie, and I'm sure we'll get the same feeling in F9, but if you cut out Dom's heel turn in this movie and just made it strictly about the team trying to take down Charlize Theron's character, I'm sure this movie would be almost exactly the same, like an identical twin to the previous two movies. As previously stated, the movie in its approach as well as in its execution does feel very similar to the last two movies. Hence why Fast 5 is far and away my favorite movie of the Furious franchise, because it doesn't feel like the same exact movie over and over again. The plot of that movie is completely different, but in the Fate of the Furious, we still get that formula. And besides a couple of plot holes and the issues I have with the movie's logic, which I cannot talk about because if I do, I'll dig into some spoiler territory, my only other problem is that the action sequences from Furious 7 to this movie get even more ridiculous. With the Fate of the Furious, it gets to the point of near insanity with the action. And the way things are going, it seems like people are not taking this franchise seriously anymore. I've seen a lot of reviews of F9. People are talking so badly about that movie, saying how it is going way out of line with the action sequences. It is just forgetting about everything in the what is actually possible realm. And you certainly get the same vibe here, but at the very least, the action sequences in this movie are again extremely entertaining. I can watch all of them and have a ton of enjoyment. I think this movie has one of the best plots of the franchise. I thought that turning Jason Statham into a protagonist was a really smart decision. And exactly like in Furious 7, this movie does the same thing well too, by giving you an emotional attachment to the movie's main character. In this case, it's Dominic Toretto. So with all that being said, I am giving the Fate of the Furious a 76%. Does it stink that we did not get Brian O'Connor in this movie? Yes, it does. But hey, The Rock was in this movie, as well as Jason Statham as a main character. All of that was great. And this movie did a lot of things differently for the Furious franchise. And in my opinion, it's for the better. Of course, though, guys, if you also have your thoughts on the Fate of the Furious, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. Next up, as you guys expected, I will be reviewing and seeing F9, The Fast Saga, this weekend. I have no idea what to expect, but all I care about is seeing Vin Diesel and John Cena go at it. That should be a ton of fun. And of course, guys, if you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.